Kylian Mbappe could have been playing at the AFCON this year, and Antoine Griezmann could have ended up on the winning team in Euro 2016 if he chose differently. The French national team isn't as French as you think it is, and there are deep reasons for that. France has always been an accepting state, and as a result, they've had players from different parts of the world play for the country. It didn't get bigger than the summer of 2018, when France conquered the world with a team that wasn't even half French. Kylian Mbappe, Paul Pogba, Antoine Griezmann, Benjamin Mendy, Kingsley Coman, N'Golo Kanté, Thomas Lemar, Alphonse Areola, Samuel Umtiti, Presnel Kimpembe, Blaise Matuidi, Steven Nzonzi. Feels like I'm reading the entire squad list, and I'm not even done with the guys that weren't French. All these guys were very important parts of the team that won gold in Russia in 2018, and some of them could have not even been there. For Kylian Mbappe, it could have been different. Mbappe made his national team debut for France in 2017, but before that, he could have played on a different continent for another. See, thanks to his dad Wilfred, Mbappe qualified to play for Cameroon and was all set to play for them, but the only reason this didn't happen was because of the shady process involved in getting him to play for them. Some members of the Cameroonian FA allegedly wanted his dad to pay a bribe fee and push him into the national team setup. His dad said no. That chapter got closed, and years later, Mbappe is captain of the French national team. Says a lot, and he's just one of several cases. Another one of France's World Cup stars in the competition that year should have been playing for a different country. Antoine Griezmann. Now, Griezmann's story with the French national team is a bit complicated. In 2013, Griezmann was part of the French youth team setup, but after a bust-up incident with the national team, Griezmann was seriously thinking about switching national teams. Now, thanks to his grandfather, Griezmann was eligible to play for the Portuguese national team. He'd even started making plans to complete the switch, but in the end, he stayed with Les Bleus, and now he's a national team legend. The story continues with players like Paul Pogba. Pogba could have played for Guinea. Both his siblings represented the national teams of their origin. Instead, Paul Pogba chose differently and decided to play for France. And it's safe to say the move worked out for him because his trophy list with the national team is impressive. A World Cup title and a Nations League title, and he was even part of the youth team that won the Under-20 World Cup in 2013. The French practice of getting players from other nationalities to play for them is deep. It's even still going on in the present day. France currently has a full list of players participating at the Euros, and the bulk of them aren't even from France. Alphonse Areola, Mike Maignan and Brice Samba, the three goalies France picked for the Euros this summer, and they all have different roots. To start with, Areola is originally from the Philippines. Both his parents immigrated in the late 80s in search of a better life, and Areola was born in France. Mike Maignan was born to a Haitian mother and a Guadeloupean dad. He was born in Paris and grew up there. Brice Samba was different from the others. He was born in the Republic of Congo and holds both French and Congolese nationalities. In defense, Jonathan Klaus is one of the few who was born in France, same with Theo Hernandez. But then the list switches to Ibrahima Konate, and if things had worked out different, he may not have been playing in the Euros. Konate's parents are both from Mali. They moved to France to get better living conditions. Still in the French defense now, and there's a personal favorite that wouldn't have made the team if he picked another country. Jules Koundé. Koundé's solid at the back, and his versatility allows him to play in different positions across the defense. Koundé's also a proper fashion icon too. All of that drip could have been for a different country though. Koundé's parents are from Benin Republic, and he had a choice of playing for his native country if he wanted to, but he chose to play for France, and it's worked out more than okay. Still in the French defense now, and at right back, it's another case of naturalization helping Les Bleus back a solid fullback. Ferland Mendy. Mendy was born in the western suburbs of Paris, but his parents originally came from Senegal and Guinea-Bissau. Mendy didn't gain French citizenship until 2007, and that's because, unlike the others, he was late in hitting that subscribe button to Footballerz. If only he clicked it early enough. Still, Mendy's become a regular Didier Deschamps France team. Benjamin Pavard's one of the few who's actually from France too. He was born in the city of Nord and grew up there. But the last defender on the list, he's a royal from another country. Dayot Upamecano. Upamecano is a mainstay in the French team now. He started back-to-back games for Les Bleus in the Euros, and it's a crazy consideration that in 1998, Upamecano was a prince living abroad. Upamecano was born in La Madeleine, and this city is known for having many French immigrants and a community of locals abroad. Now, Upamecano's great-granddad was a king in Guinea-Bissau, so for them, leaving France wasn't to escape economic conditions. They simply wanted a more advanced and civilized life. So when they moved there, the standard of life was the main priority. Upamecano could have also chosen to represent Senegal too. His mum is Senegalese, but in 2002, thanks to his mum getting French citizenship by naturalization, he became a French citizen as a result, and having grown up there, France became his home. There's a staggering fact I'll reveal later, but it's to the midfield next, and it just feels like a continuation of the same trend. Eduardo Camavinga, versatile on the pitch and off with his means, and if things had worked out differently, he wouldn't have been at the Euros. Unlike the others, Camavinga wasn't even born in France. He was born in a refugee camp in Angola in 2002. Now, the situation was difficult for Camavinga and his parents because at the time, Angola was going through a civil war, and his parents wanted to protect him and his siblings. So his parents moved from Angola to Congo. There's 2 countries he's got in the books now. In the end, though, the standard of living became the main thing, and so they moved to France when he was 2 and settled down in the country. Camavinga had 3 countries he was eligible to play for, but he chose France, and at 21, he's already got a World Cup runners-up medal. Still in midfield, AS Monaco's Youssouf Fofana is another French player with different roots. His parents are from Mali, but he was born in France and became a citizen by birth. And that's been his story ever since. Now, I'd already touched on the fact that Griezmann could have played for Portugal earlier, but what if I told you the engine room of the team was imported from another continent? N'Golo Kante. At 33, Kante got recalled back to the team for the Euros, and he's proving to be the proper definition of age is just a number and class is permanent. He's still got it. Kante was born in France to Malayan parents who migrated in the 1980s. His roots are deep in Africa. But Kante chose France, and the decision paid off. A World Cup, UEFA Nations League, World Cup runners-up medal, important player. Adrien Rabiot adds to the list of players who are originally from France. He was born in Saint-Maurice and spent his early life and career playing in his native country. But he's again just one of a few examples. They've got another midfielder who once again is French, with roots elsewhere. Aurélien Tchouameni. He's become a solid addition around Madrid and for the national team, also become important to Didier Deschamps' plans for France. Tchouameni was born in France and grew up in the city of Bordeaux. But if things had worked out differently, instead of playing at the Euros this summer, he could have been playing at the African Cup of Nations in January. Tchouameni's parents are from Cameroon. Both his mum and dad, they moved to France in 2002, and Tchouameni got French citizenship by naturalization. Straight to the attack now, and I've already told you how Mbappe could have been lining up with Cameroon. But what about the others? Bradley Barcola plays for France and qualifies for them thanks to his mum being from France. He could have played for Togo because his dad is Togolese. Kingsley Coman, a mainstay for the national team since 2005, was born in France to parents from Guadeloupe. And then there's this guy. Ousmane Dembele. Dembele's been with France since 2016, but if he had chosen to represent his mum's country, he'd have been playing for Senegal. Or, if he had chosen his dad's side, could have been playing for Mali. Rando Kolo Muani is a part of the team too, and he qualifies for France after he became a citizen in 2008. But if he wanted to, could have decided to play for the Democratic Republic of Congo, because he's got parents from there. Olivier Giroud is French through and through, and finally on the list, this guy, Marcus Thuram, the son of a legend making his path. Now, the Thuram legacy for France is very important because this was a big part of the early names that gave people with different nationalities the chance to become accepted and play for France. In 1998, France took a gamble. The team put out for the World Cup on home soil. It featured a lot of players who weren't completely French. Marcus Thuram's dad, Lilian Thuram, was in it. Patrick Vieira, Christian Carambou, Sylvain Wiltord, Marcel Desailly, and Zinedine Zidane. All these guys had roots in different countries but helped France win gold for the first time in 1998 and paved the way for more inclusion into various levels of sports in the country. The evidence is clear now. At the Euros, France has just 6 players who are completely French out of a squad of 23. Everyone else has different roots in other countries. Staggering. The French team is proof of what having a system that accepts people from different cultures and backgrounds can do. Now, they're one of the best teams in the world, ranked second in the FIFA rankings, and all have players who have subscribed to Footballerz. Can't argue with that.